It's week 31 of A Year of Wisdom. Let's get to reading. Day 213. Job 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. That man was blameless and upright and God-fearing and turning away from evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. Then his livestock came to be 7,000 sheep and goats, and 3,000 camels, and 500 pairs of oxen, and 500 female donkeys. And he had very many slaves, and that man was greater than all the people of the east. And his sons used to go and hold a feast at each other's house on his day, and they would send and they would invite their 3 sisters to drink and eat with them. Then when the days of the feast had run their course, Job would send, and he would sanctify them. Thus he would arise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all, because Job thought, "Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their heart." This is what Job used to do all the time. And it happened one day that the sons of God came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan also came into their midst. So Yahweh said to Satan, "From where have you come?" Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, "From roaming on the earth and from walking about on it." So Yahweh said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? Indeed, there is no one like him on earth, a blameless man, and upright and God-fearing and turning away from evil." Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a fence around him and his household and around all that belongs to him on every side? You've blessed the work of his hands, and his livestock has increased in the land. But on the other hand, stretch out your hand and touch all that belongs to him and see whether he will curse you to your face." So Yahweh said to Satan, "Look, all that belongs to him is in your power. Only do not stretch out your hand against him." So Satan went out from Yahweh's presence. And then there was one day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their firstborn brother's house. And a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing, and the female donkeys were feeding beside them." Then the Sabaeans attacked, and they took them, and they slew the servants by the edge of the sword. But I escaped, even I alone, to tell you. While this one was still speaking, another came and said, "The fire of God fell from the heavens, and it blazed up against the sheep and goats and against the servants, and it consumed them. But I escaped, even I alone, to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 divisions, and they made a raid on the camels, and they carried them away, and they struck your servants by the edge of the sword. But I escaped, even I alone, to tell you." At the time this one was speaking, another came and said, "Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their firstborn brother's house, and behold, a great wind came from across the desert, and it struck the 4 corners of the house, so that it fell upon the young people, and they died. But I escaped, even I alone, to tell you." Then Job arose, tore his outer garment, and shaved his head. Then he fell upon the ground, and he worshipped. Then he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. Yahweh gives, and Yahweh takes. Let Yahweh's name be blessed." In all this, Job did not sin and did not charge God with wrongdoing. Proverbs 1. Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to understand sayings of understanding, to gain insightful instruction, righteousness and justice and equity, to give shrewdness to the simple, knowledge and purpose to the young. May the wise hear and increase learning, and the one who understands gain direction. To understand a proverb and an expression, words of wisdom and their riddles. Fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Wisdom and instruction fools despise. My child, may you keep your father's instruction, and do not reject your mother's teachings. For they are a garland of favor for your head, and pendants for your neck. My child, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, "Come with us, we shall lie in wait for blood. We shall ambush the innocent without cause. Like Sheol, we will swallow them alive, and whole, like those who descend to the pit. We shall find all precious wealth. We shall fill our houses with booty. You shall throw your lot in our midst. There will be one purse for all of us." My child, do not walk in their way. Keep your foot from their paths. For their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed blood. For in vain is the net scattered in the sight of any winged bird. They lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Thus are the ways of all who are greedy for gain. It will take the life of its possessors. Wisdom calls out in the streets. In the squares she raises her voice. On a busy corner she cries out. At the entrances of the gates in the city she speaks her sayings. How long, O simple ones, will you love simplicity? And how long will scoffers delight in their scoffing and fools hate knowledge? May you turn to my argument. Behold, I shall pour out my spirit upon you. I will make my words known to you. Because I called out and you refused me, I stretched out my hand, yet there is none who heeds. You have ignored all my counsel, and my reproof you are not willing to accept. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when panic comes upon you. When your panic comes like a storm, and your calamity arrives like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but not find me. Since they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh, they were not willing to accept my counsel. They despised all my reproof. They shall eat from the fruit of their way, and they shall be sated from their own schemes. For the waywardness of the simple ones will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. Whoever listens to me will dwell in security and rest securely from dread and disaster. Ecclesiastes 1. The words of the teacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, said the teacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What does a person gain in all his toil with which he toils under the sun? A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth stands forever. The sun rises and the sun goes down. To its place it hurries, and there it rises again. The wind goes to the south and goes around to the north. Around and around it goes, and on its circuit the wind returns. All the streams flow to the sea, but the sea is never full. To the place where the streams flow, there they continue to flow. All things toil continuously. No one can ever finish describing this. The eye is never satisfied with seeing, and the ear is never filled with hearing. What has been, it is what will be. What has been done, it is what will be done. There's nothing new under the sun. There's a thing of which it is said, "Look at this. This is new." But it already existed in ages past, before us. There is neither remembrance of former generations, nor will there be remembrance of future generations. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to seek and to search by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. It is a grievous task God has given to humans. I saw all the works that are done under the sun. Look, everything is vanity and chasing wind. What is twisted cannot be straightened, and what is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have become great and have increased in wisdom more than anyone who preceded me over Jerusalem. I've acquired a great deal of wisdom and knowledge, so I dedicated myself to learn about wisdom and to learn about delusion and folly. However, I discovered that this also is chasing wind. For in much wisdom is much frustration, and whoever increases knowledge increases sorrow. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there. And click the bell if you want to get notifications for new videos. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button for me. And I will see you tomorrow. Without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord, It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.